Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And I know you're probably like, oh my god, he doesn't post a video for a month, and then we get 2 videos back to back, 2 days in a row. I know, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be back over here. I love this channel. I love being a part of BookTube. I can't sing its praises enough. I talk about it all the time. But I had done yesterday the video of my favorite books of 2019, the best books of 2019 that I read, as well as my favorite author, so go check that out. My favorite author of 2019. But today I wanted to do my least favorite books of 2019, or better known as crap books that I read in 2019. And here's the reason why I wanted to get this done today or tomorrow is because going into February, I want to get back to just talking about books that I'm reading in 2020, having discussions about bookish things in 2020, things that I'm thinking about, hauls, book hauls that I've done this year, Audible hauls. I love to do Audible hauls over here. I have one that I'm getting ready to do here soon. And I have a lot of book reviews that I want to do. I don't think that I'm going to do each book separately though. One of the things that I love is that Connor O'Brien does like books 1 through 5 or books, you know, 65 through 70. So I think I'm going to steal that idea from him, and I think I'm going to do that as well over here. In fact, what I might do is I might just wrap it up at the end of the month and do like all of the books that I've read in 1 month. This month, now I'm trying to keep on task because my goal, go check out my reading challenge on Goodreads. Go follow me on Goodreads. Friend request me on Goodreads. I accept everybody's friend requests. I think I got 6 or 8 of them today, so thank you for that. It's a really good way for me to find other books out there that I don't know about, because I go through the Goodreads thread constantly looking at new books. But my goal is 100 books for this year, and I have like for 5 years, well, for 3 or 4 years, I think I've had a goal of 100. I'm not really sure. Maybe 3 years, and I haven't hit it. And 1 year I had a goal of 101, but this year I'm like, I am hitting this goal. Like, this is like, here are my goals for 2020, okay? Be in the best shape of my entire life, number 1. Number 2, I mean, be an international movie star and win an Oscar, of course. And, well, the Oscar would come in 2021. But anyway, you know what I mean. And then number 3 would be to read 100 books in 1 year. I really, really want to hit that goal. And what's funny is, I think that, like, years ago, before I ever, you know, was on BookTube, when I was just reading James Patterson, David Baldacci, all these books I would get at the grocery store, you know, when I come home from work, I probably was reading 100 to 150 books a year, because I was reading 3 to 4 books a week. That's not the case these days. And I listen to a lot of books on Audible. I will tell you that my goal is to read 8 books a month. Right now, I'm almost on task for that. I've said that twice now, on task. This is a very serious BookTube channel over here. I have read 6 books. I'm currently listening to my 7th book, which is The Secret. I'm rereading it. And then if I get that done, I'm going to read this Taylor Jenkins Reid book that's like an hour and a half long, so I should be able to finish that. Which means I would have 8 books read for the month of January. So I'm very proud of myself, okay? If you don't know, I'm reading The Secret, and I also read The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, because I am doing, on my Peterisms channel, I'm doing kind of a read-along every month. I pick a inspirational or a motivational book for the month to read. In November, I did The 4 Agreements. I absolutely loved it. December was The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, and The Secret, what is it? Rhonda Byrne, I think is her name. Anyway, I read it before, and I wanted to reread it. February's book, and so I carried it over into January, because just so much happened in December that I just couldn't keep up with my reading in December. And then in February, it's going to be the book Make Your Bed. So if you want to participate in that, just go over to my Peterisms channel and watch those. It's listed underneath each one of my videos. It's nothing formal. It's just kind of a fun read-along, so that every month I'm reading a new inspirational book and something to motivate me, something to inspire me throughout the year, because over here I read, you know, typically all fiction except for the True Crime Book Club. So, in the True Crime Book Club for February, have I mentioned this? I don't think I've mentioned this, is Mindhunter by John Douglas. So, that's the February book that we are reading for the book club, and I'm really, really excited about that, because I want to watch the TV show. So, as soon as I finish the book, I'm going to start watching the TV show on Netflix. I think it's 2 seasons now. Okay. So what I thought I would do today is, yesterday I sat down and I went through my list on Goodreads of all of the books that I had read for 2019, and I picked out my top books, and there was, I think, 16 total that I read that I liked that were at like my top 16. And then I narrowed it down to the top 10, and I did an honorable mention and all of that. I do want to say one thing really quickly. Let me go in here and pull up that video. My Lord, what are you guys? They're growling and things over here. Well, oh, I have to show you something. So, I did on my vlog a P.O. box unboxing, and Jennifer sent us, because of PP's passing, she sent us these, what do you call it, these blankets, these comfort blankets that she had made for Boo and Tucker, and we had them in the bed, and Alex just brought them down here, and I have to show you, this is so sweet. Tucker is laying on the comfort blanket. Is that not the sweetest thing in the entire world? They love them. They absolutely love them. Okay, so I did want to mention this, that on my video yesterday, the best books of 2019, Natasha went through. Natasha, I owe you the award for being the best book assistant of the year. Natasha went through and she wrote out the entire list of all my honorable mentions and all the books of 2019, who they were by and everything. Natasha, thank you so much. I pinned that comment. That really meant the world to me. I really, really appreciate that. Okay, so I want to go in here, and I am just going to actually go through the books that I read last year. I haven't made a list, and when one pops out to me that I'm like, yeah, this was a book that I didn't really love, I'm going to talk about it. So, the first book that I read last year was Sadie, and I'm just going to go through all of my books. The first book I read was Sadie. That made my top 10 list. Then One of Us is Lying by Sadie by Courtney Summers, who tweeted out that I made her, that she made my list. I was so excited about that. And then One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus, that also made the list. An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, that also made the list, the top 10 list. And then The Stranger Beside Me, Ted Bundy, The Shocking Inside Story, by Ann Rule. That was the first book that we read for the True Crime Book Club. Now, I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed the book, but it didn't make the top 10 list, just because, I don't know, it didn't, like, stay with me, and I have to tell you that after I read that book, I was kind of done with, like, hearing about Ted Bundy. I haven't watched the Zac Efron movie, although I probably will. On Amazon Prime, I think there's a documentary series that his girlfriend now has come out and done. I probably will watch that at some point. And then, what else? Oh, shoot. And then the confession tapes on Netflix. I started watching them, and I just was like, I'm Ted Bundy. I don't really care that much about him. And, you know, sometimes in reading true crime, it's like, it's very disturbing. And so it's just a little bit overwhelming. At some point, I just have to say enough is enough. Okay, then I read Unlovable by Esther Pearl Watson. And then I read No Exit by Taylor Adams. That made the top 10 list. Unlovable. Got an honorable mention, I believe. I read volume 2. Then I read The Vanishing Stair, which somebody told me the 3rd one is out, by the Truly Devious series. I'm so excited. That will probably be in February that I read that, because I want to get right on it. And then I read The Unlovable, volume 3 by Esther Pearl Watson. And then we read for the True Crime Book Climb. Yes, and let me tell you why I just said that, and the Freudian slip. A Serial Killer's Daughter, My Story of Faith, Love, and what is the rest of the book title? Hold on a second. A Serial Killer's Daughter, My Story of Faith, Love, and Overcoming by Carrie Rawson. Okay, so Carrie Rawson is the daughter of the BTK killer, and this book was getting a lot of media attention, and so Mel and I decided that we were going to read this book. I think it was more me than it was her. I was really excited about this book. My good Judy Tanya had seen her, like, on some talk show, and she was like, oh, you should read this book. It just wasn't great. And you know, I'm finding that I have a hard time reading books that are from either the family of the victim's point, or the family of the killer's point of view. I don't know. It's interesting, kind of, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, I have an issue with it. And so the book was, to be honest, it was just boring, okay? I feel for the girl. I feel for what she went through. I can't even imagine how horrible that would be. But, like, literally half of the book was her in what's it called? The Grand Canyon with her dad, and it just was too much. It just was too, I didn't care, okay? I didn't care about her story. I didn't care about, I thought we were gonna go in and read about things that she saw early on and kind of overlooked, which there was some of that in there, but, like, a lot of it was just, it was boring. It just was straight up boring. And I gave it 2 stars, and that was one of the crap books that I read for 2019. Then I read The Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton. Then I read Columbine by David Cole. The Andromeda Strain was good. I wouldn't say it was my favorite Michael Crichton book, but The next one that another writer ghost wrote, or didn't ghost write, but he wrote was supposed notes from Michael Crichton. I already have, and I'm gonna listen to an Audible. Then Columbine by David Cullen, which made the top 10 list. Then Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which made the top 10 list. The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. Okay, now I ended up giving this book 4 stars. To tell you something about this book, I didn't hate this book, but this book got, it was like, I was hearing everybody on BookTube talking about this book. Oh my God, the Devouring Grey, the Devouring Grey, the Devouring Grey. I thought it was, like in retrospect, it was crap. It just was a lot of different really trite kind of ideas from CW shows that I had seen and movies and other books. And I was disappointed with it. I just didn't think it was great. Lost Girls, an Unsolved American Mystery. So this was another true crime book that we read for the True Crime Book Club. I gave it 2 stars. I could barely get through it. I thought it was so boring. You know what's interesting is that a lot of the books, where's the, oh, I didn't, you know what? I actually read more books than I thought last year. Because I didn't put, what was it called? The Truman Capote book. That was our February book. It's not even on here. Shoot, In Cold Blood. That would have made the crap books so boring. Oh my God, okay? That was like being, I don't even want to say. That was like horrible, okay? It was absolutely horrible. Lost Girls, an Unsolved American Mystery. So this was about these missing girls and these killed girls on the East Coast. They're making a Netflix documentary about it, which I will watch and I think will be interesting. It was a lot of the telling of it, though. It was like the background was half of it, and then like the mystery was the other half of it. I just didn't think it was very interesting. I didn't think the way that it was written was very interesting. I thought if the story was told in a different way, it could have been much better. I didn't really feel empathetic for, I mean, it just, I don't know. It just was not well done. It was not well done, and it was straight bore ass, okay? And then I read Brave Face by Sean David Hutchinson, which is his coming out story. I love Sean David Hutchinson. It was fantastic. I listened to Our Town by Thornton Wilder, which I don't think I'd ever read before. If I had, it was like when I was in high school. I don't remember. So anyway, I think I did read it when I was like in high school. And then we read Killer Klown, the John Wayne Gacy murders by Terry Sullivan. You know what? I do remember listening to the play on tape that I had, the old time radio play that my mom and I listened to. Killer Klown, the John Wayne Gacy murders. Now I have to tell you, that almost made my top 10. That was a fantastic true crime book. And very, very scary too. And then Recursion by Blake Crouch, the Pine series, Zodiac by Robert Graysmith. That's about the Zodiac Killer. That was on the True Crime Book Club. That was fantastic. What If It's Us? Two Can Keep a Secret. The Last Town, that was the Pine series. And then The Quickie by James Patterson. So I started this thing last year that I really wanted to do and I thought I would keep up with and I just didn't. If I had $1 for every idea I have, I'd be a very, very rich man. But I started this thing where I wanted to read a lot of like pulp fiction books, you know. There was like a David Baldacci book, there was like a James Patterson one, there was a Sidney Sheldon one. I picked all these different books, I still have them. I may do this at some point, but I just couldn't keep up with it. And part of the problem is that I got stuck in The Quickie, and The Quickie was the first one. And it was because I had read a lot of these kind of books like back in the day, and I really enjoyed them. They were fast reads, they were very quick. The Quickie, though, was not quick. It was totally boring. I'm gonna see in here when I started it and when I finished it. It should say right here. Oh, it said on here, this is so funny, that I started it on 12/30/2018 and I finished it on July 31st of 2019. So basically, basically 8 months. Boo Radley is down here needing all kinds of attention. It took me 8 months to get, and Tucker is right there. It took me 8 months to get this book done. I know it didn't take me that long. When I finally sat down, I was like, I'm finishing this book. Have you ever done that with a book? You're like, I'm finished. I should have just DNF'd it. It was so bad. Carrie Mora by Thomas Harris. I loved that book. A lot of people didn't like it, but I loved it. Little Monsters by Kara Thomas. It was okay. American Predator. That was on my top 10 list. Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I liked that book. There's something about Riley Sager's books that like I love, but then You know, did you hear about the mystery about Riley Sager? Okay, so Riley Sager, I believe this is Riley Sager, is a male author. This was a big controversy in 2019 that a lot of authors are doing this. Is a male author but wasn't getting attention for the books that he was writing, and so he changed his name to a more like gender ambiguous name, like Riley, and then was getting, and like changed kind of like how the books were marketed, and then was getting all this attention, but basically they were the same kind of writing as before. I like Riley Sager's books, but there's always something to me that seems off or whatever. It was very Rosemary's Baby-ish. It was about this girl, and she went to apartment sit, this fantastic apartment, but you didn't really know why. It kind of felt, to some degree, parts of it were like 50 Shades of Grey to me, kind of like, because the girl was kind of dumb. She was a lot dumb. Anyway, but I liked the book. It kept me interested. And then the true crime book, My Friend Anna, The True Story of a Fake Heiress. Oh my God, this book. I ended up giving 4 stars, okay? Because I do feel sorry for this girl, not really. By not really, I mean like, I don't know. I just can't imagine a friend asking me to put like $50,000 on my American Express card. First of all, I would say, it's not gonna go through, but you can try. I mean, I don't know what I would say, okay? But I mean, this book was a lot. It just was a lot. It really was. I think the idea of the story and the idea of this girl, you know, and people are kind of like, so if you don't know the story, it's about this girl, Anna, and she's basically a fake, and she comes here, I think it's from Russia or whatever, and she says like she's got this like, she's like this billionaire trust fund kid, and she befriends this girl. She doesn't have any money. She's total fake, okay? And so anyway, she ends up getting like arrested and all this kind of stuff, and so it's just a huge deal. So this girl basically, she writes her book, and now this other girl, she's sold her story to Netflix, and that's how she was able to wear like nice clothes to court, and the whole thing is just too much. It just is too much. I don't know. At another time, I think I would have cared, but I didn't. Now entering Adamsville by Francesca Zappia. That almost made my top 10 list. I loved it. The Chain by Adrienne McKenty. That was good. Iceman, The Confessions of a Mafia Hitman by Philip Carlo. I gave it 3 stars. Okay, this was Mel's pick from the True Crime Book Club. I don't care about the mob. End of story. That's all I need to say. I just don't. The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. I loved it. Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. I loved it. It was a graphic novel. Let It Snow by John Green. I loved it. Dope Sick Dealers, Doctors, and a Drug Company That Addicted America, I think is what it's called. Hold on a second. That Addicted America. That was really good. That was for our True Crime Book Club. I thought it was an important book to read. Murder at Mistletoe Manor, and You Better Not Cry. Murder at Mistletoe Manor by Holly Tierney Bedford, and You Better Not Cry, Stories for Christmas by Augustin Burroughs. So those are the books. I only had 3 or 4 books that were absolutely crap. What was the crappiest book that I read of 2000 and, well, probably In Cold Blood, because it didn't even make my list, right? What was the crappiest book that I read of 2019? Let's go through here and see. Would Mel kill me if I said Iceman, The Confessions of a Mafia Hitman? I have to say, okay, The BTK Killer's Daughter was the crappiest book of 2019. It was just, there was this part, if you've read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. So they go on this hiking trip. It's just, I don't know. I think the girl's like still real in denial about her situation. Like I do. Like I don't wish that on anybody, right? I don't wish that you grow up and you have this idealistic childhood and then you find out that your dad is this horrible serial killer that wears women's clothing that he's killed, and he takes pictures of himself in the grave. I mean, can you even imagine to then be like, you know, I don't know, like writing a book about what a great time you had hiking in the Grand Canyon? Oh my God, it's too much. It's too much. And then there's like real weird stuff that like happens that she doesn't even think is weird. Like he lets, I don't know. It just is too much. It's too much. I just could not. And I think it's, for me, the crappiest book that I read of 2019 because Mel and I just continued to laugh about it afterwards, you know, and it's sad. It's like, and I know people are going to be like, how can you say this about this poor girl? I feel for her. Like, I really, really do. And I think that, like, and the other thing was that there really wasn't any kind of mention on her behalf. I mean, there was a little bit at the end, and I kind of feel bad about what happened. But there was a lot of like poor me-isms that happened in the book. It wasn't so much about like these horrible things that he had done. Can we talk about the victims for a second? Can we talk about all of the victims and how they've been affected? And it just was, you know, I don't know. It missed the mark. It totally missed the mark for me. And I'm sure she is a fantastic person, and I'm sure she's very nice. That comes across in the book. And I'm sure she wants to hold on to these memories of who she thought her father was. But he's just not. He's not that person. So, anyway, what was your crappiest book 2019? Let me know. Put it in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. I'm not going to say tomorrow because I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, but I'll see you in my next video. Bye.